is not to socialize or to be able to catch up with our friends we haven't seen this summer. The point of this assembly is for us to be able to lay out all the expectations for this school year. And so while you're down here and we're going over our handbook, our expectation is that you are attentive, that you're not talking, and that you're listening to everything that we have to say here today, so that there's no question about what you are going to be expected to do while you're here at the high school. If you choose not to do that, then you will be asked to leave and you will forfeit the opportunity to come to our next assembly, which will be our first pep rally. So let me encourage you, if that's something that you want to be able to participate in, that today, that you are attentive and that you don't lose that opportunity. So good morning and welcome back to Dodge County High School. I'm Ms. Jones. I'm the principal here at the high school, and most of you have been with me through some time in middle school. We hope that you had a great summer, and we are excited about kicking off the new year with you. I saw lots of smiles and fresh faces, and we're all glad to see you back here today. Your teachers have been working hard to prepare for your return. And most, again, like I said, most of you know me and know that I believe in laying out the expectations up front and then being consistent and following through with those expectations. For all of you, most of the rules at Dodge County High School are the same that you've been expected to follow since kindergarten. There are certain rules that you guys know that you've been asked to follow since you started school. For our freshmen, there will be a few new things here for you at Dodge County High School. If you do not know what you're expected to do, or you have a question about something, the best advice I can give you is to ask somebody. Ask an adult. Do not ask your peer, because they don't always know. Ask an adult so that they can give you the right answer. For our upperclassmen, you know what the rules are. This is not new. And as leaders and role models now in our school, you are expected to set a good example. Ultimately, what I'm expecting from all of you is that you come to school each day on time, prepared, and that you're working hard while you're here. If you do those things, you won't have to worry about not meeting the expectations. Students, also, you are reminded that what we're going to go over today is going to be a summary of the handbook rules. You are responsible, though, for all of the information in the handbook. Not knowing is not an excuse. Okay, so if you have a question and you can't find it in the handbook, you need to ask someone, like I said. You should refer to the handbook for a complete list of all the expectations for us here at Dodge County High School. First, before I get started with our handbook this morning, I'd like to introduce some new staff. We've had some new hires over the summer, and I would like to introduce them this morning. Staff members, if you are down here, if you would just stand and give a wave to the audience. Ms. Aurora Dobson will be in JROTC as our secretary there. Mr. Grant Byerly will be our JROTC Army instructor. Coach Pete Ransom will be teaching economics and business. Drew Tucker, engineering and technology. Haley Pittman, math. Caroline Holloman will be in our English department. Shariel Walker will be a parapro. Coach Joseph Porter will be doing driver's ed and ISS. Coach Montez Shipman will be PE and ISS. Shantasia Hines will be in our math department. Dana Peacock will be teaching math. And Ms. Lily Douglas will be in the English Language Arts department. So welcome to our new staff members. We're glad to have you here with us at Dodge County High School. Also this morning, I'd like to introduce our class officers, which are our student representatives that were chosen by their peers, by you, to represent your class and ultimately Dodge County High School. Again, students, when your name is called, if you would just stand and wave to the audience. We're going to start with our student council officers. Our president is Adriana Randall, Vice President Ellie Rogers, Secretary Jared Rogers, Treasurer Mara Delgado, Parliamentarian Rachel Hawkins, and Special Projects Emma Jones. For our senior class, President Caroline Sutherland, Vice President Gracie Collier, Secretary Nate Carter, Treasurer Abigail Harden, Parliamentarians Ann Stevenson. Special Projects Malachi Bearden. Junior Class President Kyler Johnson. Vice President Spencer Williams. Secretary Emma Douglas. Treasurer Lydia Jones. Parliamentarian Brianna Terry. Special Projects Charlie Jones. Sophomore Class President Emma Rogers. Vice President Abby Bradham. Secretary Dulce Cruz. Treasurer Ruby Hernandez. Parliamentarian Camille Orange. Special Projects Brinley Vaughn. Our freshman class President Miracle Drake. Vice President Hallie Lowry. Secretary Josiah Lampkin. Treasurer Alex Pereira. Parliamentarian Maddie Collier. Special Projects Piper Jones. These are your student representatives for the 24-25 school year. Next, just to make note, on page 2 is your bell schedule of your handbook. You can take a look there. The biggest thing to note about your bell schedule is we have changed the time to, for the first bell, and take-in time is at 8:15. That's a little different. Last year it was 8:20. So we will take in at 8:15 and we'll be tardy at 8:20. Some of you are busting down the door, running through it, trying to get to where you're supposed to be. So get here on time. 8:15 is going to be student entry. On page 3, if you'll notice, down there at the bottom, our mission statement. Dodge County Schools, our mission statement is making a difference every student, every day. That is what Dodge County High School's mission statement is as well. Like I mentioned earlier, you're going to have adults here and teachers here who are working to make sure that you're successful. My advice to you also is to find a trusted adult that you feel your advisor, one of your classroom teachers, your coach, somebody that you can go to if you have a question or a concern about something, and so that they can point you in the right direction. But we are here to make sure that you are successful. That is our goal and our end goal and end game for you. All right, on page 6, if you turn over and look, at the top of that page is the graduation requirements. When you step foot in Dodge County High School, your end goal is graduation. This is what we're working with you for, but that is what you are working towards, is your graduation from high school. It lists there the units that are required for you to be able to graduate. And so it tells you how many units per academic area that you have to have. There are some differences if you set goals for yourself, like to be an honor graduate, or you want to go to college when you finish high school, or your track may be to go to tech school, you're going to the workforce. It will change depending on what your goals are. But ultimately, to graduate, the minimum requirement is going to be listed there of what you have to graduate. So make sure that you pay attention to that so that you can stay on track. If you'll look over on at the bottom of page 6, the requirements for graduation. Seniors, this is for you. Ultimately, you work this hard, you're going to make it through your senior year, and you want to be able to participate in the graduation ceremony. To be able to participate in that ceremony is a privilege. It is not a right, okay? So in order to be able to participate, you have to, again, do your part and meet some requirements. The biggest one is you've got to academically make sure that you're eligible, you've passed all your classes, and you've met all the graduation criteria. That includes attendance. You must make sure that you're not in any attendance trouble. If you're on fine and fee, you owe the school for anything, that could keep you from graduating. If you see there in that first paragraph, the end of the paragraph, it says to participate in the Dodge County High School graduation ceremony, candidates must have completed all requirements by 8 a.m. on the first day of official graduation practice, May 19th. So I'm standing here before you on August 7th telling you that if you want to participate in the graduation ceremony, it says it right there, exactly what your timeline is. So there should be no reason to be in any trouble of being able to participate in that ceremony. You're hearing it on the very first day of school. Okay? Also, just a reminder that if you are serving, if you're over at the alternative school or PLC, you've been assigned there for any reason, and you are there when the end of school comes, then you will graduate from there. So if you want to participate and graduate from Dodge County High School, then again, you need to make sure that you meet our expectations and you maybe take care of all your business prior to graduation. On page 7, at the bottom, it starts with several things regarding dual enrollment. This is something that is reserved for our 11th and 12th graders, our 11th and 12th graders, but 10th graders, this is something you need to be thinking about towards the end of the year, whether or not you're going to participate in any kind of dual enrollment. You'll be expected to follow through with that process. There are several opportunities now for dual enrollment here. We have Middle Georgia, we have GMC, we have the aviation campus at Middle Georgia right here in Eastman, and you have Ruth Parker. Some of them come here, some of them you would go there. But if that is something that you're interested in, we also have Coney Fall Line Technical College. If that's something you're interested in, you need to start planning ahead, 9th and 10th grade. Make sure that you're in a position, if that's what you want to do, to participate. You see there's several pages of requirements there, and you can read through there. Ultimately, the things I want you to know is if that's what you want to do, you have to be enrolled in that college or tech school of your choice by the first day of school. If you are not, then you cannot participate. And that if there is any change with what you're doing at the college or the tech school, that must also be reported here. You cannot just self-report and take yourself out of things and manage that yourself. That does have to be reported back to your counselors here on campus. All right, turn over to page 17. In the middle of the page there where it says exemptions. Attendance for your teachers and for the staff here is of utmost importance. We cannot teach you if you are not here, okay? Mr. Rogers will talk more about that in a little bit. But in order to encourage you to be here every day and to be on time, we do have a program in place called Perfect Plus. What that means, if you have perfect attendance for the 9 weeks, then you are, and you're passing your class, you can exempt your 9 weeks test, okay? Doesn't mean you won't have to take it, but your teacher may have another option for you as far as how that's going to count. But it is a way, again, to reward those of you who are committed and are here every day and on time. So again, just make a note of that. We want you here every day. We want to see you. We want to be able to teach you and make sure that you're prepared for the next step. So make sure that you are here with us each day. On page 18, at the bottom of the page, you see where it talks about honor roll and AP honor roll. Again, you are rewarded for your good academic achievement. So if you have all A's, you receive a gold card. If you have A's and B's, you will receive a modified gold card where that allows you in all the sporting events free or then some of those free. So make sure that you're working hard off the rip, out the gate today, starting to that goal of making A's or A's and B's. Honor graduates. Some of you came in today, that's a goal for you as you entered high school, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders, and you've been working towards that, and your advisors share with you what those requirements are. It changed a little bit for our 9th graders who are entering this year. So you see there, if you look on page 18 at the bottom, 9th graders, beginning with 9th graders who enter high school in 24-25 school year, that's you, and beyond, to be eligible to be an honor graduate, a student will have earned 2 units of the same foreign language, a half unit of speech, 1 full unit of introduction to business technology, an overall academic average of 94, and completed a minimum classes as categorized by the Hope Scholarship eligibility. So that means there's certain classes that you're going to have to take in order to be an honor graduate. So make sure, again, if that's one of your goals as you enter today, that you keep up with that and you talk with your advisor and your counselor about what you need to take to make sure that you achieve that. Over on page 19 at the top, talks about how the valedictorian and salutatorian are chosen. And again, if that's something that you have set as a goal, it tells you how you can qualify. You have to be a senior who has been enrolled in Dodge County High School for the last 4 consecutive semesters and who has the highest GPA. The salutatorian will have those same requirements and be the second highest GPA. All right, turn over to page 23. You look in the middle or at the top of the page, it starts with our student offenses and disciplinary procedures. Unfortunately, we have every year some students who make some bad choices, and sometimes that's to be expected because you're still growing up, you're still children, you're still students, and you're going to make some bad choices, okay? But as you've heard me say since 6th grade, you came through Dodge County Middle School, if you make good choices, you're going to have good consequences. If you make bad choices, you're going to have bad consequences. And so this part is for if you make a bad choice, and what that will look like, and what that will result in as far as your consequences. All disciplinary actions include consequences that directly affect the student's academic and or social agenda. Offenses involving drugs, alcohol, violence, sexual harassment, or theft are considered extremely serious and may result in immediate suspension, recommendation for expulsion, referral to a tribunal, and involvement of law enforcement officials. The consequences severity will increase with each reported incident. Each student will be punished according to the particular incident and his or her cumulative discipline history. We want to help you be successful. We want you to make good choices. But if you don't, there's going to be a consequence that comes along with that choice. And you've probably seen this written somewhere before, but you are free to make your choice, but you're not free to choose your consequence. There is no debating or trying to argue about what your consequence is going to be. It's laid out right here in black and white. And if you don't want the consequence, then don't make a bad choice. So there's a list of the consequences that are used here at Dodge County High School. Like I just mentioned, they will increase in severity depending on what the offense is and depending on how many times you've already been warned or corrected about your behavior. You could have detention, which means your teacher asks you to come in for break. Break is not very long, 5 or 10 minutes at the most, okay? If you have a break detention because you went to the restroom during class or you forgot to bring something to class, the easiest thing for you is to go ahead and serve that detention. It's going to take the least amount of time and the least issue with serving that detention. If you choose not to, and then that becomes an issue of defiance and not doing what your teacher asked you to do, that's going to escalate your behavior and escalate your consequence. You can move up to conferences, corporal punishment, supervised cleanup, supervised lunch, in-school suspension, restitution, out-of-school suspension, notification of our SRO, expulsion, or alternative school placement. That's kind of the progressive plan of how that's going to work. So as you move through the year, you make a bad choice, you get supervised cleanup, you serve your 4 days of supervised cleanup, you go on about your business, we don't have to see you again. If you make another bad choice, and you're back in the office, then it's going to be ISS. Go about your business, take care, serve your time in ISS, take care of that, go about your business, you show back up, then it's going to be more days in ISS or OSS. And any time that you have to be in ISS or OSS, that's taking away your academic time. So we want you to be in your classes. dead fences. Some of the ones I mentioned earlier are significant and are going to result in immediate suspension, expulsion, or alternative school placement and notification of our law enforcement. That's going to be weapons, assault, terrorist threats, sexual misconduct, self-possession use or under the influence of alcohol, self-possession use or under the influence of drugs. Those type of offenses there is no room for any of that at Dodge County High School. I would like to think that none of you participate in any of that away from Dodge County High School. But ultimately, I have no control over that. But what I do have some control over is Dodge County High School. My role, the administrative team, your teachers, our responsibility and our aim is to provide a safe place for you to be able to come to school and get your education. Now, for some of you, that may not mean a whole lot. But for most of you, that is exactly what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to come to school and get your education without worrying about any of those significant things happening while you're here on campus. And that is what your parents, that's what they expect of us, and that is what we're going to provide for you. So any of those things, there is no room for any of that at Dodge County High School, and it will be dealt with severely and quickly. You will have legal issues as well as school consequences. So leave all that at home. There's no room for that here at Dodge County High School. Also, bullying is prohibited. Bullying will be dealt with also immediately and harshly. What I tell students usually is be kind and be quiet. It basically goes back to what you've heard since a child. If you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all. You don't have to give a comment or input when everybody's got their own opinion, but you don't always have to share that. Okay? We're not going to put up with that. I know a lot of you like to roast each other and clown on each other and pick and tease, and all that's in good fun. But you know too, the trouble with trouble is it starts out as fun. And I have more issues in my office where they say, well, we were just playing, or I didn't mean it, I was just kidding. But that's how it starts. It always starts as fun, and it usually turns to trouble. So we don't want to go there. You cannot control how somebody else is going to react to what you say. You don't have that authority. Whatever you say is said. You cannot then say, well, I didn't know they were going to react that way. Well, because you're not in control of that. You're only in control of yourself. And if you don't start nothing, there won't be nothing. So help us out with that. Again, be nice to each other. If you see something like that going on, and that goes with the other things that I mentioned previously, if you see something, you need to say something. Also, if you turn over to page 26, and you look down at 8 and 9. School buildings and grounds at Dodge County High School, Dodge County schools are tobacco-free. Used to, we were looking at dip and cigarettes, but now we have entered the world of e-cigarettes and daffodils. And that is not going to be tolerated here at Dodge County High School. Again, I understand some of you do that away from Dodge County High School, and I have no control over that, but we will not do that here. You need to leave that at home and off this campus. If you're caught this year, again, it will be dealt with significantly and quickly. So we do not bring that here to campus. Also fighting, same thing. You're going to face some significant consequences, possibly legal consequences. And again, most of the things that we entertain when it's fighting is stuff that has not initiated here. It's been conversations that have happened on social media or away from campus, and it's been brought back to campus. If you want to fight, fight in your mama's front yard. Do not bring that here to Dodge County High School. Profanity and vulgarity. When you're at school, you're expected to use school language. When you're away from school, you may speak in a different way. When you're at school, we expect you to use school language. Same as with the adults. When I come to work, there's an expectation that I behave a certain way, I speak a certain way, and we have that same expectation for you. This is your job. Right now, your only job is to come to school and be a student. So we expect you to come to school and to do what you're supposed to do, speak the way you're supposed to speak, and be and do what you need to do while you're here. Again, that goes back to the refusal to carry out instructions of staff and disrespect. If a teacher or any adult on this campus asks you to do something that does not involve a safety risk to you or anything like that, we expect that you're going to comply. When a teacher asks you to do something, to work on something in class, you're tired and they ask you to sit up, they tell you to come here, they need to tell you something, all those types of things that we expect that you're going to do and listen to what the staff tell you, whether they're your teacher or not. If they're an adult here on this campus, you will respect them and do what they ask you to do. You ride a bus is an extension of the school, and you're expected to behave on the bus. Your schedule has you listed down for your classes, and if you're not where you are scheduled to be, that is considered skipping, okay? If you're not where you're supposed to be, that's considered skipping, based on what your schedule has, not what you're choosing to do, but what your assigned schedule says that you are to be. And if you're skipping, there will be consequences. It is, again, our responsibility to make sure that you are safe and taken care of while you're here at Dodge County High School, and it's hard to do that if I don't know exactly where you are. So make sure that wherever your schedule says you're to be, that's where you are. When you can drive and drive to school yourself, you are required to have a parking permit. You're not allowed to park over here in this parking lot by the gym without a permit. You're not allowed to be on campus without a permit. If you're going to drive, you must go through the front office and get a parking permit. If you don't, and you don't have a permit, there will be a consequence for that. So make sure that you handle that appropriately and you take care of that. We are selling parking passes currently. If there's an issue where you have to drive another car, like maybe the car's in the shop or something like that, you just come to the front office and we can take care of that. If you're going to be on campus in a vehicle, your vehicle's going to be on campus, it has to be marked with a parking permit. Breaking and entering, theft, and vandalism, if it doesn't belong to you, you need to leave it alone. And this is something as simple like picking up a book bag and hiding it from somebody, or spray painting graffiti on something. Ultimately, if it's not yours and it doesn't belong to you, you don't have any business messing with it. Students are not permitted to participate in events that cause substantial disruptions of learning opportunities and or threaten the safety of staff and students. This includes walkouts, petitions, picketing, trespassing, inciting disturbances, etc. If you know that there's a problem going on with something in school or with your peers, again, you need to let an adult know. That is not something that we need you to continue to encourage or to incite that. That happens to be a bit up here. We need your help in trying to prevent that and not make it worse. Students are not permitted to video, record, and or post online the images, videos, pictures depicting events that occur on campus or at a school function that negatively reflect on Dodge County High School. Cell phones are a huge problem, and we are going to address it here at this year's high school. Again, if you've been with me any time through middle school, you know that we are going to enforce the rule, which is that they have to be turned off and kept in a boot bag while you are here at Dodge County High School. Okay? So when you get here in the morning, your phone is off and it is put away in a backpack. You say, well, I don't bring a backpack. You're going to have to. A cinch bag, a book bag, a gym bag, you will not be able to have that phone on your person. Not in your hoodie pocket, not in your back pocket. And then, so here's how this usually happens. You're breaking the rule, but then you get all bent out of shape and act off some type of way because an adult questions you about it or says you can't have your phone. But today, again, first day of school, I'm telling you, that is what the rule is. So, again, you make a choice, you say, well, I had to text so-and-so and let them know, whatever. If that's what you choose to do, then you are going to be accepting the consequence. The consequence is going to be that your phone will be confiscated. Your phone will be confiscated and turned into the front office. And a parent will need to return to get it. It's the same way it's been since you've been in middle school. You can help us out with that. Okay? I know it's important to you. I know that you've had all summer to be on your phone just as much as you want to, but it is difficult and it impedes what we're able to do up here by teaching you with cell phones and you being attached to your cell phone. So again, our expectation is off and in a book bag, not just out of sight, off and in a book bag. And that will be what will be enforced. And if it is seen, it will be confiscated. Administrators, number 23, are authorized to take disciplinary action for conduct that occurs on the school grounds. That was pretty obvious. If you're here at school and there's a disciplinary infraction, that's pretty obvious. Off the school grounds at a school activity. So if you're at a school activity or anything that's represented Dodge County High School, you're also subject to these rules and disciplinary infractions. En route to and from a school or school activity, that's on the bus. Even if you're on an extracurricular bus or you're going on a field trip. Authority to take disciplinary action also extends to any off-campus, non-school related actions by students at any time of the year which have a direct and immediate impact on school students, on school discipline, the educational function of the school, or the welfare of the student or staff. Ultimately, if you represent Dodge County High School in any shape, form, or fashion, you can be held responsible for the rules and breaking the rules and the disciplinary infractions and consequences that come with that. On page 37, you look down in the middle of the page, it says all rules and regulations cannot be covered in the space of this handbook. However, students can be held accountable for any unwritten rule or regulation that might impede the educational process of this institution. We're going to try and tell you as much as we need to tell you today, but ultimately, you need to go through this handbook. Your parents need to be aware of what's in the handbook. If you have any questions, you need to be able to ask intelligent questions about it so that we can address it as needed. Also, let me just remind you, when we're talking about discipline and disciplinary infractions, if for some reason you do end up in ISS or OSS, again, this is nothing new for you, but if you're in ISS or OSS at the time that an event is happening, you will not be able to participate. If you play sports and you're in ISS, you can't participate. Practice, game, anything, as long as you're in ISS. Prom comes around and you're in ISS, guess what? You can't participate. So ultimately, again, you have the choice. You have the power to decide exactly how this is going to go. At the back of the handbook, you don't have to flip there, but what you'll see at the back of the handbook is some signature pages. A few things you're going to be asked to sign today. First of all, when we finish down here, you're going back to your advisement. You're going to sign a paper that says that you have been explained and understand the rules of the handbook. For some reason you have a question about something or you don't understand, you need any further explanation, we can get together and have a one-on-one for that. Okay? But you will be asked to sign that. You and your parent are going to be asked to sign the pages in the back here saying the same thing. We don't know, we can understand the rules of the handbook. Again, I'm excited about the year. I was over here for a little bit at the end of last year, and I am excited to have my first full year with you. And you know me, and if you know me real well, you know I enjoy having a good time, but I also think, it's important that, like, everything has a particular time. When it's time to have a good time and have fun, that's appropriate. When it's time to work hard and be serious, that's appropriate. And that's all I expect from you, is that you are acting appropriately, that you're following the rules, that you're working hard when it's time to work hard, so we can enjoy each other and have fun when it's time to have fun. We want you to enjoy school. We want it to be a safe place for you, that you can come and enjoy and learn and get your education, so that we can watch you go on and do great things when you leave here at Dodgeville High School. Thank you.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Mr. Cadwell, one of the assistant principals here at the high school. Turn to page 21 right quick. We're going to talk about sportsmanship. Students are expected to display good sportsmanship at all times during athletic events. Students are reminded that they are under the rules and regulations of Dodge County High School during athletic events and subject to disciplinary action. Also, it should be stressed that visiting teams are our guests. Here at the high school, we live by the golden rule. We treat others the same way we want to be treated, no matter what. All right, look on down a little bit. We're going to talk about loitering, or hanging out where you shouldn't be hanging around. Before and after school, the buildings and parking lots are off limits to any student who does not have official business with a teacher or the office. The school building will not be open until 7:15 every morning. If you get here before 7:15, just wait in the picnic area outside the cafeteria. Students need to remember that once they step on the campus or the school bus, you are considered to be on school property and must follow all rules. School ends daily at 3:15. Students must leave the building by 3:30 unless they are involved in extracurricular activities. Students should not loiter or hang around in the building, in the parking lot, or any unsupervised area. When school's over, you get in the car and leave. You need to make sure somebody's going to pick you up. Do not hang around. All right, on page 22, let's talk about school visitors. All visitors must report to the principal's office to sign in for a visitor's permit. The person failing to check in will be guilty of a misdemeanor and will be dealt with, okay? So you need to tell everybody if they're coming to pick you up or coming to one of your classes, they must check in the front office and get a pass. The buildings are off limits to any person not enrolled in this school or that does not have legitimate business with the school. Any person on campus not in this category will be considered a trespasser and will be dealt with accordingly. All right, turn to page 35. Searching students. This is a big one. Any student may be searched without a warrant where there is reasonable suspicion and such circumstances that make it impractical to secure a warrant. Cars, book bags, and other private possessions may be searched by school officials and/or drug-sniffing dogs where deemed necessary when private property is brought onto school property. So if you bring something on our campus, we can search it. If we got suspicions, we're going to search it. Anything you bring from your vehicle to your book bag or anything, okay? So just think about that. All right, flip over to 43. 43. On page 43 and 44, you'll see a checklist for each grade level here, 9th through 12th. This is simply a checklist. You need to do everything on these checklists each year here at Dodge County High School. And if you do that, you'll be prepared to graduate at the end of your senior year, okay? So you really need to pay attention to page 43 and 44. All right, this is not in the handbook per se, but we're going to talk about metal detectors a little bit. Everybody that enters Dodge County High School or comes on our campus in the morning, student-wise, and visitors must enter through a metal detector. You need to come through the metal detectors in the cafeteria every morning you come on campus. You must come through those metal detectors. Even if you're coming to the gym, come through there first. If you don't have a first period class in the gym, we better not catch you down here. And a good rule of thumb, if you're somewhere and there's not a staff member, you probably don't need to be there, okay? All right, let's talk about doors. We've had problems with doors being propped open. We better not catch you propping doors open. We better not catch you opening doors, letting people into our building. We're cracking down on it this year, okay? Do not prop doors open. Do not let people in our building. All right, that's all I have. Y'all have a good year. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Rick Rogers. I am going to be one of the assistant principals here at Dodge County High School, along with Ms. Vaughn and Mr. Cadwell. Ms. Jones wanted me to talk for a few minutes about a couple of things, so I'm going to briefly go over a couple of things. If you turn to page 14 and 15, you'll see what's called the Hope Scholarship. Students must graduate from an eligible school with a minimum of 3.0 cumulative core GPA on a 4.0 scale. Okay, you must apply for this in FAFSA, which is free application for federal student aid, and that's online to be eligible. On page 22, medications. It is very important that you turn your medication in to the nurse. We catch you with medication on your person, you will be subject to disciplinary action. As far as the lunchroom on page 28, students cannot leave the lunchroom without permission from the assistant principal or teacher. Seniors can sit outside in the senior area. Students need to keep the noise down, and they need to remain seated unless you're up to get a tray or throw trash away, or if you have permission by an administrator or a teacher. If you turn to page 31, I want to briefly talk about attendance. Ms. Jones talked about earlier, attendance is important. You need to be there in class every day, okay? The policy states, the Dodge County Schools policy is that a student is absent more than 7 days per semester or 14 days in a year-long course, they would not receive credit. So you need to be there every day. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You need to be reading this yourself. On page 35, the FERPA policy, what that states is that Dodge County Schools can get a little bit of information about you, the student name, student date of birth, student participation, weight and height, if you're on an athletic team, dates of attendance, and awards that you receive at the time that you serve in Dodge County schools. Ms. Jones talked about bus discipline. It's already, students must abide by the same rules and regulations that's on the bus, that's at school. And finally, drinks and cups. We've had a little bit of issue with this. So I'm going to tell you what's allowed in the morning time and what's not allowed. You are allowed to have a reusable bottle. It needs to be clear. You are allowed to bring an unopened, you're allowed to bring an unopened water bottle into school. You are allowed to bring soft drinks, however, they must be unopened. No energy drinks of any kind, no Red Bulls, no Monster. We'll be checking, me and Mr. Cal will be up there in front every day looking. All drinks are subject to service by administration at any time. Thank you so much for your time. Go Dodge.
Good morning. If you'll turn to page 20. Early dismissal. Some of you are on word-based learning and dual enrollment, and you have a separate place that you sign out and come in. But those of you that get signed out, first of all, if you have a note from home, you need to bring that to the attendance office to Miss Ashley Layfield before school. Before school, so she can have that. She'll call you out of class. No teacher will let you out of class without one of us calling down or you having that note that says you can leave at a certain time. You have to come to the attendance office and sign out. You don't just leave campus. We do not take phone call sign-outs because of security purposes, so make sure you tell your parents that. Bring a note if you know you have an appointment before school or your parents have to come sign you out. If you'll turn to page 30 and 31. Our dress code, which some of you I already see have taken advantage of this a little different. We're going to go through this, again, like Ms. Jones said, everything is listed out here. I'm not necessarily going to read this to you. You are responsible for knowing these rules. Look at the top part, that's in bold. At Dodge County High School, we believe we're preparing our students to be successful in their future endeavors. As students prepare to enter the world, they will have had the preparation for appropriate dress and grooming. Students must be in compliance with the dress and grooming code the instant they enter the school grounds. Students who are found in violation of dress code are subject to disciplinary action, and that varies on how many times we've had to speak to you about things and what the offense is. Let's go through these. Number 1, which is in general, fads and styles in dress that differ extremely from conventionally accepted standards are prohibited. If it's something that causes some sort of disruption, it is not allowed. If you have any kind of question that it may cause a disruption, don't wear it. Number 2, hats or any headgear, including hair curlers or hair picks, cannot be worn. Number 3, student shirts should be buttoned, no clothing that permits the midriff to show. So no crop tops where any part of your stomach shows, period. Not that it rides up. When you walk, it comes untucked, don't wear it. Save it for the weekend or when you're somewhere else, not at school. No open back shirts, low back shirts, or shirts that are worn off the shoulders. Shirts should be high enough in front that no cleavage shows. Number 4, boys and girls shorts, skirts or short top pants should not be higher than 3 inches. And 3 inches, what we've been using is a sticky note. You all have them. Again, if you look in the mirror and it's close, don't wear it. Not a sticky note when you pull it down or sag it way down on your hips. It should be at regular, on where it's supposed to be at your waist, and a sticky note. Number 5, no grills or gold teeth. No sunglasses in the building. Students may not wear hats, caps, sunglasses, combs, picks, etc. Bandanas and bandana print clothing are prohibited. Number 6, same thing, no skirts, even the splits can be higher than 3 inches. Sticky note. Number 7, boxer shorts or underwear must be covered. Pants should be worn at waist level. There should be no sagging. Nobody wants to see all that. Number 8, if you wear a tank top or a sleeveless shirt, the shirt on your shoulder should be 3 inches. Again, a sticky note. Number 9, outer clothing, and look at number 9 and what's in bold and underlined, because we get a whole lot about this. Outer clothing that resembles. Resembles means it could or could not be. Maybe it looks like pajamas or loungewear. Save your pajamas for the house. I don't want to hear, nobody wants to hear it's got pockets or they're joggers. If it looks like pajamas, don't wear them. Number 10, you may not wear bedroom slippers. Appropriate shoes must be worn. If you'll turn the page. Number 11, please don't allow chains on your boot bags or your pants. Number 12, the only type of piercings, and this is a change in the rules, so look at number 12. The only type of piercings allowed at school are ear piercings and small nose studs. Gauges, nose rings, eyebrow rings, or other facial piercings are not allowed. So this is something that we've allowed and changed. Please don't take advantage of this. Number 13, no excessively baggy pants. Girls and guys, I guess, shirts worn with leggings, yoga pants, or spandex of any kind must be long enough to cover the entire buttocks and front evenly around. All the way. Everything should be covered. So you can wear leggings, but everything has to be covered, not close. So again, put on leggings in the morning and you put on a t-shirt and you think, is this close? Don't wear it. Put on something bigger. We have put these concessions and relaxed the dress code a little bit for you, but don't take advantage of it. Number 14, no see-through blouses or skirts. Number 15, if you wear jeans with holes, the holes where you see skin cannot be more than 3 inches above your knee. Same thing as any other rule for shorts or skirts. Sticky note, has to be covered. If you have jeans that have holes that are high up, then you need to have some sort of leggings or shorts underneath. If your jeans have excessive holes, where the holes are really bigger than the jean material, don't wear them. Number 16, t-shirts with vulgar or suggestive advertisements are not acceptable. If they're inflammatory, suggestive, racial, or have any sort of blood, gore, skull, satanic things, death, weapons, etc., encourages hate groups, gangs, tobacco products, drugs, alcohol, you cannot wear any of these. Number 17, no clothing, visible tattoos, or other article which may indicate membership in a gang may be worn or displayed at school or any school function. Notice that says school function. So if you go to a ball game, part of Dodge County High School, you're a Dodge County High School student, we still are going to dress appropriately. Number 18. The last part of this is most important. A student shall not dress, room, wear, and then look at the last part. Anything where the effect is to distract unreasonably the attention of other students or otherwise cause disruptions or interference with the operation of the school. Don't wear anything that's going to cause some sort of disruption or problems in class or here. Number 19, make sure that your shirts are the appropriate length of what's going on. Number 20, this one's most important of all of them. All students are expected to dress properly. Student dress and appearance shall be neat and in good taste, as dictated by common sense and propriety. Any student whose dress is in question should be referred to the assistant principal's office for decision. The administration of Dodge County High School reserves the right to make final decisions concerning proper dress of students. In summary about dress code, if there's a doubt, don't wear it. If you turn to page 34, Georgia teen and adult driver, you have to get an enrollment form that says you have to be a student and enrolled in school to be able to obtain your driver's license and your learner's license. There is an online Google form that most of the staff here is on our school website under the Students tab. Also, Ms. Layfield can direct you to that. Please give us 24 hours. It has to be notarized. And we can give that to you to go and take that to the DDS to be able to do that. If you turn to page 44, in the back of your handbook is a complete list of all the clubs and activities that we have here at Dodge County High School and the advisors. Most people can direct you to that. I would encourage you to get involved in something, clubs, sports, activities. We have a ton of things to do here. You can flip through that. It goes all the way through page 48. We can direct you to that. We'll have club day in a couple of weeks. The same day we have our first pet rally where you can go and talk to some of those people. If you turn back to page 22, PBIS, largely I know you did a lot of this in elementary and middle school. We do some things here at the high school with it as well. We really encourage good attendance and those that don't get an office referral or MIRs. We had quite a bit of students last year that got I Heart Taco for lunch for doing that, so I would encourage you to try to attain that as well. We'll be celebrating that at least. We're going to try to do it more often, monthly, quarterly, semester, so make sure that you're here, you have good behavior, and you're making good grades. We like to celebrate way more than we like to get on to you about things. So we're going to try to do some of that. And if you turn back to page 7, our CTA program is quite good and we're excited about that. Our pathway completers, you can read that at the top of page 7. CTA, you have to complete the coursework and a lot of times you're into pathway assessments. Make sure that you are in the appropriate sequence. We encourage everybody to complete a pathway. We have lots of students that complete several. These are these things that get involved and are outside of your academic classes per se, where there's a lot of hands-on things, so get involved in those. Those students of you that are involved in accelerated classes may earn an advanced academic pathway, and we also have a fine arts pathway as well, and you can read about those there in the handbook. I am Ms. Vaughn, I'm one of the assistant principals. We're excited to have you here. One thing I will say, and I've told all of you this many times that I've been here, we can't help you what we don't know about. We like to be proactive and not reactive. I hope you have a great year. Go Dodge.
Good morning. I'm Deputy Kelly. I am one of your school resource officers. I am the main school resource officer here at the school. My 9th graders don't know, but 10th and 11th and 12th, and my seniors, this is the last time you'll have to hear this. Thank goodness. The administration went over the policies and procedures for the school rules and safety. I want you to understand that my job here is to help you as much as I can. But it is also here to I'm here to make you guys aware that there are consequences for the things that you do when you make mistakes, when you make bad choices. I do handle the criminal side of the rules here at Dodge County High School. If you fight, if you bring a weapon, make a threat against our school, you can and will be charged with criminal action. We don't take those threats serious. We take the threats very seriously. They're not a joke, and they're not something to play with while you're here at school. So if you threaten the safety of the students or the school, there will be criminal consequences. We ask that if you see a student with a weapon or know someone that is threatening the safety, that you say something to a trusted adult. Myself, counselor, administrator, teacher, there is never a time in the school where you will not find an adult around that you can at least say something to. If you feel that you need to remain anonymous for any threats that you hear or something like that, there's a See Something, Say Something phone number that is listed in almost every hallway. The poster is listed in the cafeteria. It's a number that you can call and remain anonymous. We just ask that you say something about what you've seen. We cannot fix it, and we cannot keep you safe if we don't know about it. If you have a conflict with somebody, again, let an adult know. Physical fights have serious consequences and can lead to criminal charges. Most of the time after a fight, the administrators or myself ask the student that's involved in the fight, did you tell anybody you were having a problem? The answer is almost 99% of the time is no, I did not. Again, we can't help you if we don't know. You're not tattletaling, you're not, gonna lose friends. We try to keep everything as confidential as we can, but if we don't know, we can't help you. And then fights break out, and there are serious consequences for those. So please, again, let somebody know. Our locked doors here are the best security measures that we have for keeping our school safe. Please do not prop doors. If you see a door that is propped, simply close it. Do not let anybody into the school, not even people that you know. Don't let any adults in the school. There are main doors at the front of the school that everyone is supposed to be using. Those are for security reasons. Those are here to keep you safe, to keep me safe. So please use those doors. We want your learning environment to be safe and productive for you. We can't have that if the day is interrupted by things like threats and fights. I'm also here if you have a problem that is happening outside of school. I've been in law enforcement for 25 years. If you're having a problem outside of school that is affecting you here at school, or you think may cause problems for you at school, please let us know. We want your environment here to be safe, we want you to be productive, and we want you to have a good school year. Again, if we don't know about it, we can't fix it. The best thing to do is have some communication open between all of us. And we can help you make your years the best that they're going to be. Thank you.